All right, first off, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Womalak Yahushai, right? You open it up with the opening precepts, the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17. And it says, whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahushua, giving thanks giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Him. Right. So everything we do in the name of the Lord Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High God. Right. And glorifying His name. Right. Let me get one more opening precept before you start. The book of Ephesians. Right. The book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach. So everything we do is for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, for the perfecting of the saints, man. Right? Shalakia. And the saints are who? The Israelites. So everything that we do is for the work of the saints. So today, in today's Sabbath service, we'll be going over a parable that a lot of people don't truly understand, right? A parable that the Christian church used to make a fallacy and believe that there's an actual place underground called hell, which is nothing but Greek mythology for a place called Hades, man. So we're going into the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, right? So I'm gonna go ahead, King.
Yeah, I got to preach that real quick. First, let me get just the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 5. A wise man will hear and will increase in learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. Verse 6. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark saying. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So when you're dealing with the Bible, a lot of times this is uh it's a lot of parables and mysteries within the Bible. It's just not a book that's meant for anybody to open up and just read it and everything is going to be plain upon table. Yeah, some things are obvious and plain upon table, but some things are parable, right? It was prophesied in Psalm the 78th chapter. Let me get that real quick. Psalm 78. There's a reason why Yahushua spoke in parables, right? And that's why it's a beautiful thing to be living in these times to where these things have been revealed. Where you actually have, because like the brothers going into, your pastor can't properly break down, Luke 6, these parables of Yahushua, right? This is the book of Psalm, chapter 78, and verse 2, and verse 1. Give ear, O my people, to my law, incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. That's why the Lord tell you in the scriptures in the book of Job, the 8th chapter. Remember the days of old. Search for thy fathers, man. You understand? You have to, and it talks about the law too. You got to understand the law. You got to get the milk of the word. You got to get built up in these things so that you can understand. You got to learn the fear of the Lord. You got to be keeping the commandment so you can receive this understanding and this truth. Let me get this real quick in the what was that? Book of Mark, chapter 4. Mark chapter 4 and verse 33. It says, and with many such parables spake he the word unto them as they were able to hear it. But without a parable spake he not unto them. And when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciples. So the Lord was out speaking in parables to people. You understand? And then he would secretly and come and give it to and gave the understanding to who he wanted to understand it, which in this context would be his disciples. Hey, the Lord said, my sheep hear my voice. You understand? So this understanding these secrets and mysteries and this knowledge is not for everybody, right? But you got it, King.
There you go.
All right. So we kick it off, right? The rich man and Lazarus, right? And we're gonna break it down, Lord willing, through the spirit, verse by verse, man. Get understanding what's going on, right? So this is the book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 19. There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously and fared sumptuously every day. Right? This rich man is a so-called white man. This rich man is Esau, right? This rich man is the whole white nation. It's all of them, man. Right? Let me get a precept on that, right? We'll go to the book of Revelation.
And Salaki, real quick, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, King.
And that's the whole point of a parable, right? It's not going to say, and the white man, right? It's going to say the rich. You have to figure out who is this rich man? Is this just talking about some particular man and Lazarus? No, there's a
Right.
secret and a mystery behind this. If I'm speaking in code to somebody, that means I'm saying something so you don't understand it. So I'm not actually saying what it really is and what it means, right? You have to figure it out, and the way we do that is through the precept. But Salaki, you got it, King.
Come on. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 1, and I'm gonna read down to 4, and then I'm gonna jump down. Right? This is Revelation chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the seven angels, which had seven vials, and talked with me, saying, come unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now we know this whore is Mystery Babylon, which chiefly is dealing with who? The so-called white man that runs Mystery Babylon, right? And it says what? With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon scarlet colored beasts, full of names of blasphemy, having seven heads and 10 horns. And the woman arrayed in purple and scarlet color, decked with gold and precious stones, pearls having golden cup in her hand, and full abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So those scarlet colors, those that purple and so on and so forth, all those things represent the money, right? The rulership, the prestigiousness of this nation. It's the same thing with the rich man that is talking about in the parable. Those colors are representing the prestige and the money and the rulership that this man has, right? And I'm gonna jump down to verse 18, and it says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Right? So that woman is that great city. It's Babylon, right? It's literally Babylon. Right? That's the woman. Right? So this woman is ran by Babylon's ran by who? The so-called white man. So this rich man is the white man because he's rich, he waxed fat, right? And we're gonna go to stay right here, Revelation chapter 18 and verse let's see,
16.
verse 16, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the penny ships, Shalakia, all the penny ships and sailors stood afar off, and the sailors and as many as trade by the sea stood afar off and cried and saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city like unto this great city? Well, so like saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Right. So what? This woman, right, which we understand is Babylon, is a rich woman, right? And we understand the so-called white man is the person that runs Babylon, right? What does it say about the Israelites? Are we rich? Right? No, right? Let's get to the book real quick. The Haggai real fast, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Haggai, right? It's the book of Haggai, right? Chapter 1 and verse 6. You have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled. With drink, ye clothe, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put in a bag with holes. So the Israelites, right? And they're not rich. But to other nations, main chiefly the so-called white man is a rich nation, right? Why? Because he continues to take from everybody else, man, right? He deceives the whole world, and that's how he literally continues to wax fat. So this rich man is a so-called white man. There's many more precepts, but I'm gonna let the brother get in there.
Khan, let's go to the book of Psalms. Go to the book of Psalms, chapter 73. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 73. I'm going to start at verse 1. No, I'm going to start at verse 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Right? The Esau is very prosperous in this society, man. That's plain upon tables, man. And that's what happens to our people. Our people, we stumble and we fall when we see his prosperity. We want to be like him. That's why the so-called white man got respect. That's why our women respect him. You understand? That's why Jake, like last night, we had a Jake come up, man. We had a Jake come up last night, say he was an Israelite. Before we could even speak, he just, but I don't agree with the color. It's not about the skin color. White man ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? White man helped me more than my own people. He just started going in about them advocating for the damn white man. Went on a hold down and then left. Right? A brother with a cigarette in his hand. Right? That brother's feet actually slipped when he saw the prosperity of the white man. You understand? Reading on. It says, for there are no bands in their debt, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. The so-called white man experience in this world is not like Jake. He don't have the worries that you have, man. He doesn't have to worry about his rent getting paid. He don't have to work 2-3 jobs. You understand? Your so-called white man, right? He's not at war with his woman in the house, right? His woman doesn't disrespect him. She respects him. You understand? The so-called white man, he's not in trouble. He's not worried about the police getting behind him. Hey, when the so-called police get out the damn car, Esau getting out the damn car at the same time the white man getting out the car. And they meeting halfway. And he's asking him, what the hell you pulled me over for? Jake, you on the phone calling your mama, man. You calling the brother and got him on speakerphone. Hey, you sending a text telling the brother throw up prayers. Esau, damn devil just got behind me. You know what I'm saying? They are not in trouble as other men. Therefore, pride compassed them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment, right? And that's what happened. The so-called white man, he's violent against us. You understand? And how did he get his riches? He stole it. You understand? So this rich man, he literally stole everything from you. And because he's guilty and he knows it, he treats you so, right? He looks down on you, man. It's like everything that and first of all, when that's why the Lord said, when the wicked rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in rulership, the people are going to be rejoicing. Because the righteous, they're going to rule in righteousness. You understand? But the so-called white man, he doesn't rule that way. He doesn't handle his riches that way. Let me get another precept real quick in 2 Maccabees, just to what I said. Right? This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3, and verse. Check this out. 2 Maccabees, chapter 3, and verse 6. And told him that the treasury in Jerusalem was full of infinite sums of money. So we're not just a poor people. It's not that we just, it's our sins. The Lord took everything from us and gave it to the so-called white man. That's the curse as a punishment. We're not a poor people. You understand? It's not that we don't have abilities and the so-called white man so much smarter than us. This is the judgment of the Most High. And the story and the history and the proof is in the scriptures, right? So Israel had infinite sums of money, man. And these heathen knew that. They understand that. The so-called white man didn't invent none, didn't create this wealth for himself. Everything he has, he took it from the Israelites. And infinite sums of money, so that the multitude of their riches, which did not pertain to the account of the sacrifices, was innumerable, meaning you couldn't count it. And that it was possible to bring all into the king's hand. You understand? So our people, we literally been, the scriptures say that we literally been robbed and we've been spoiled, man. Right? Let me get this real quick. Well, you can get in there, King. That's all I want, the rich man. I know you probably want to deal with Israel being the poor.
Well, I got a couple more on the rich man, right?
Con.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, and verse 4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Most High, and in due time he will set over it when that is profitable. In the hand of the Most High is prosperity of the man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor, right? And it says what? I'm gonna read. I'm gonna jump down to verse. I'm gonna read verse 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High, and who's the most prideful man? The so-called white man. And by both do one commit iniquity because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. right? And we understand the so-called white man, he's achieved all kind of riches by deceit, man. Hey, and injuries, man, right? Let's get this in the book of Micah, right? Let's go to the book of Micah, right? And we understand like the precept, Job 9:24, right? It says the earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. And we just read Sirach 10, where it tells you the Lord is the one that sets people above the earth and gives them these things, right? The same as he did with Nebuchadnezzar, right? This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So literally, the so-called white man, right? He covers all the fields, right? That's a form of gaining riches. When you own land, you got riches, man. So he's rich because he own his wings, because he's an eagle, spreads beyond the far vast across the whole earth right now, man. Because he literally has a garrison, right, in every damn nation, man. Damn military, what is it called? Military, what's the name of those things, man? Uh, Ambassadors or whatever you want to call it in everybody's nations, man. Tell them they gotta conform to their damn democracy, right? Military embassy in every nation, man. Right? Let me get this, right? Because he's that thief. That thief has made him extremely rich, man. Right? This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it says, the vision of Obadiah, just said the Most High, power concerning Edom. We have heard of a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So the so-called white man is filled with a lot of pride and haughtiness, right? He's filled with pride and haughtiness, and we just read, right, that pride is one. I'm gonna go back to it real quick, right, because I want to line it up so brothers and sisters can understand, like, how you know who this rich man is, man, right? This is Sirach chapter 10, right, and verse number 7. Pride is hateful before the Most High, and man, and by both do one commit iniquity. And we just read the so-called white man is filled with pride. That's why he's so hateful towards man and the Most High. That's why he can never serve the Most High, because he has so much pride inside of him, making him believe that he is the Most High. That's why he thinks he can just take from you, and nothing can ever happen, man. Because literally he has so much pride, he believes he's owed that. That's his he calls it manifest destination, man. Look it up, right? So it's Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Most High. This is the point I want. Remember what we read in Micah about him coveting fields and taking them by violence, oppressing a man in his heritage. He's a great thief. That's how he's inherited all these riches. As the brother Jonathan brought out, right? When they heard about our riches, all they wanted to do was get them all, man. Right? This is verse 5. If thieves come to rob thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Most thieves, hey, they'll kind of steal till they got enough. You know, they come to your house and they'll steal, and their bag is full. They kind of get up out of there. Not the so-called white man. He's had more than enough. He's waxed rich for long enough, but yet he still continues to steal, man. Right? It says what? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? Anybody else would leave something, man. But this rich man, this white man, this so-called white man is so wicked, so evil, right? And he wants to rack so damn rich due to his pride that he doesn't leave anything for anybody, man. Think about the Native Americans, man. He literally killed 77 million Native Americans. That's what they count. I'm led to believe it's well over 100 million. That's what they count. And they regulate them to a small piece of land. Stole the whole Americas from him, man. This is him being rich, that rich man, right? But yeah, I just want to get there on this rich man. Go ahead, King.
And I didn't finish that in Psalm 73. I want to finish that. Let's go back to Psalm 73. I'm going to pick up at verse 6. Therefore, pride compassed them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish for. Esau got more than he could ask for. Esau don't really want for nothing, man. That's why you see these Edomites walking around. They always happy and smiling. They always in a good mood, man. Right? They always feel like that's why Jake be talking about, oh, the white man treat me better than he did. He not going through nothing, man. He not dealing with depression on an extreme level like your brother is. Man, Jake always got an attitude because he's oppressed. You understand? And we hold that again. We don't look at the spiritual aspect of it, right? This man got four car garages, man. Hey, I work out here, man, where Esau live at, man. It's concrete, everything is perfect, man. He got gates in the front of the house, man. He got security at the damn gate, man. Jake, you got to get a double lock your damn door, man. You got to get locks on your windows, man. You understand? You keep it dark in the house, man. You peeping out the window, man. You understand? You hearing gunshots at night, man. Esau, he has companies, he has businesses that he passed it down to his family. So-called white man tell you to go get a job, nigga. Slavery was in the past. Get over it. Go earn it. Right? That's what he tell you. Meanwhile, everything he got was passed down to him. He was just born into it. He ain't really did nothing. He just wake up in the morning. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference when you a rich man and you got wealth. Let me get this in Ecclesiastes real quick. Chapter 4. And when the wicked rule and they in power, they become oppressors. You understand? They take advantage of you, right? Let me get this real quick in Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter, right? And on the side of their oppressor, there was power, but they had no comforter. And see, Esau takes advantage of this. He knows this, man. That's why he can send out his police force to oppress you, man. Right? You mistreated in the court systems, man. You understand? And they take your children from you, man. Jake, you on child support, man. You have no say-so with your child. You understand? And the man, he's supposed to be the head of the household. You understand? All power is, we are literally powerless. Everything been taken from us, man. You understand? Let's go to Genesis chapter 27. Go to the book of Genesis chapter 27. I'm gonna start at verse 38. Right? So let's go all the way back to the beginning of Esau. Right? Jacob got the blessing, you understand, from the Heavenly Father. Esau, all right, which in the story was so-called being the oldest son, was supposed to get the blessing, but we know Rebecca was already told beforehand that the blessing was going to go to the one who comes out second, which would be Jacob. But Esau still got a blessing. Let's see what his blessing was. It's the book of Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. That's why Esau has embassies set up in every nation, man. That's why you have to go to Esau in one of all things. If you want to buy some land, you got to go buy it from the white man. If you want to open a business, you got to go through the white man, because he has the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And that dew, when you wake up in the morning, man, every inch of the earth is covered in dew. Your car, the concrete, the grass is wet. It ain't rain. That's that dew, that morning dew. That's what the so-called white man blessing was. That's the time you're living in now. This is literally his kingdom that we've been scattered into. Reading on. In verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. Verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob. And see, a lot of us don't really understand this thing is spiritual, and it goes all the way back from the beginning. Esau don't hate you because you black, because you dark skinned. Esau hates you because the Lord prefers you over him, because the Lord chose you, right? He hates you because of the blessing you got and the blessing that he got. You understand? And Esau said in his heart, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. The Lord, you literally have been delivered into his hands, man. Let me get this. Let's go to the book of James real quick. Chapter 5. The book of James, chapter 5 and verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. And these rich men, there's a judgment for this rich man. That's why he's angry. And he has everything. Why would the white man hate you so much when he has everything? And he has dominion and rule over you. You understand? And you don't have nothing. Everything you have is determined by him, right? Even our people that are famous, where do they get their money and their blessing from? So-called. From the so-called white man. Jake get drafted into the NBA. Who signs his contract? Who offers him that $1 million? You understand? So-called white man. That's these record companies that Jacob make all these billions of dollars for and sign all their rights and their masters over to. It's the so-called white man. Says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. And these garments that we cover with it represent the spirit that you're in, your beliefs, your doctrines, your lies, your homosexuality, all these things, man, that you put before the world, that you seduce and entice man with your riches. That's why our people are jammed up. That's how Esau turns you away from God, by his riches and his fortune. We don't have the ability and the power and that influence to do that. Esau has that. That's why our people are wicked. You understand? Because the power is in his hand. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, because in this treasure that he's heaping up is for the last day. Because guess what? When you really go into the prophecies, all that's going to be brought back to us. Everything that this man stole is going to be brought back to us at the end of the day. You understand? Real quick, let me get this in Psalm chapter 37. Actually, let me get Revelation 2 real quick, man. Let's get the classic. Classics, Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. So the poor man is talking about the Israelites. They're in tribulation. You understand? But thou art rich. Not rich in terms of the white, so-called white man's richness, but in terms of if you endure to the end, if you got faith, if you believe the promises, right? The kingdom, the glory, right? The kingdom of heaven, eternal life, immortality. That's why we're rich in spirit. You understand? And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. The Jews is the rich man. He owns everything. It's telling you, right? Revelation 2 and 9 is so cold, man. Because right here in Revelation 2 and 9, it's telling you who the rich man and the poor man is. Jacob and Esau is mentioned in Revelation 2 and 9. And he stole your identity. When someone stole your identity, what's the point of somebody stealing your identity? Nobody's going to steal a poor man's identity. It's no benefit. You're going to steal identity of somebody who has something, who's valuable, who has riches. You want to be them. That's why he stole your identity, right? Because you are the people that the Lord called the apple of his eye, that the Lord called his silver and his gold, man. You're the people that the Lord gave everything to, right? What else I was about to get? I think we get Psalms. Let's go to Psalms chapter 82. Man, so many precepts. I'm gonna get a couple more, King. This is the book of Psalms 82 and 4. Salaki. Deliver the poor and needy, right? So the poor and the needy are those that need deliverance. We know salvation and deliverance is to Israel. Israel is prophesied to be in need of a savior and deliverance, to be poor. That's why all these things are promised to the Israelites. Deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Like Job 9:24. Everybody know that scripture. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. The Lord scattered us amongst them. You understand? We have to be delivered out of their hands. We go to that all the time to tell you what salvation is. Salvation is the righteous being delivered out of the hands of the wicked and out of the hands that hate them. Right? But you got it, King.
I'm gonna bring out one more precept on that, then we'll move on to the parable, man. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, right? And I'm gonna start at verse 4. Right? It says, because of the multitude of whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, and that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts, man. Right? So the so-called white man, right, literally sells nations through what, her whoredoms, right, and her witchcraft. Like the brother says, they bewitch you into believing that their way of life and their way of doing things is absolute, right? And then they make you take on their ways, man, right? And it's a form of him being rich, right? If you have heaped all men unto yourself, then you're rich. You have power over many men, right? It says what? Behold, I am against thee, saith the Most High of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and will show the nations thy wickedness and thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Right? So the so-called white man, his shame is going to be discovered, and that's literally what goes on in the story of the rich man and Lazarus. The Lord has now discovered the shame of the rich man, right? And that's what's going. And he's getting judgment. So let's go back to the book of Luke, right? The book of Luke, chapter 16, verse 19, there was a certain rich man, the so-called white man, Esau, which was clothed in purple and fine linen and far sumptuously every day, right? The so-called white man and all his, royalty, royal estate, his high like estate that he's in, right? And it says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. Hey, this beggar sound familiar, man. He sound kind of like the man that was beaten down in the Good Samaritan story that had those sores. Hey, that man was the same person, man. That was Israel, right? So Lazarus literally means what? He who God helps. That's what the name Lazarus means, right? And it says what? And a certain beggar named Lazarus was laid at the gate full of sores. Okay, well, who has the sores? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 1, right? So who is Lazarus? Who's the beggar, right? It's the book of Isaiah chapter 1, right? And I'm going to start at verse 5, right? And it says, matter of fact, just so we get the context of it, I'm going to go to 4. No, so like 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, they have forsaken the Most High. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel to anger, they are gone away back. Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye shall revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. From the sole of the foot, even unto the head of from the sole of their foot, even to the head of there is no soundness in it, but the wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. So Israel is that man, that beggar that have sores, man. We have the sores, right? Let's get another. Brother brought out the precept in Revelation chapter 2 about us being the poor, right? Let's get another one on us being the poor. Let's go to the book of James, chapter 2, right? So the book of James, chapter 2, and verse number 5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he have promised to them that love him, right? So what? The poor is the people that are chosen. That's the one God is going to help. Those are the heirs of the kingdom. Who's the heir of the kingdom? The Israelites, man. We are the poor, man. Right? Let me get another precept on us being that beggar, the poor, man. Right? Lazarus, man. The one who God helped. Who is the Most High going to help? Is the Most High going to help the other nations? No. The Most High helps the Israelites, man. Right? This is the book of Sirach. chapter 11 and verse 11. There is one that laboreth and taketh much pains and maketh haste and is so much more behind. Right? Who laboreth and taketh much pains and maketh haste? Working hard every day, putting in 50 hours, putting in 60 hours, working two jobs, working side jobs, doing everything they possibly can, but it's still so much more behind. You got to work 60 hours and side jobs just to live uncomfortable. While the so-called white man, the rich man, what literally works 3 days a week, right? Has more off days than working days, right? And we're that much more behind, man. Let me get another precept,
Hey, you sound kind of
right?
robotic a little bit. I can understand you, but a little bit. I mean,
Yeah,
trying
you
to
know,
get
I'm on the I'm on the road. It still sound bad.
I mean, we can understand what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I'm on the road, man. Say I got good service. I don't understand, but Lord willing to clear up in a minute. I'm gonna grab a couple more and I'm gonna let you get in there. And Lord willing, I get to a clear spot by the time I get back on there. Right? Let's get this. Right? We are the beggar, man. We are the poor. Let's go back to Ecclesiastes, man. Right? It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, right? And verse number 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Right? This rich is talking about the rich in spirit. We sit in a low place, man. We're not sitting on a high place. We're sitting in a low place. The Israelites are sitting in a low place, man. Right? It says what? Say okay. Am I still choppy or am I clear?
Nah, yeah, I would have just texted me. He said, I sound like a robot. And I think it's my internet. Can you hear me
Yeah, you
clear?
do. Nah, you sound like the Isley brothers.
You sound clear, though. I guess that's on my end.
All right, come, right? So this is Ecclesiastes 10 and 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Right? So a servant, which is the so-called all nations are servants to the Israelites. That's what they're created to be. Right? And they're literally what upon horses. Sitting upon a horse means you're in high stature, right? That's why back in the ancient days, the king sat on the horses and all the rulers sat on the horses and the men were infantry. They were foot soldiers. It's the term. That's where you get the term foot soldier from, right? So literally, the service, the so-called white man of other nations, they're sitting in a high estate. While what? The princes, the chosen people, are in a low estate. We're walking. We're the foot soldiers. We're the servants. So this beggar will be the Israelites, man. Will be us, man. Right? Let me get one more. Right? It's the book of Lamentations. Right? It really the whole thing of Lamentation, it goes into this, man. Right? It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 2 and verse 1. How hath the Lord covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Being cast down from heaven is dealing with what? Being tossed and thrust out of rulership, man. We were thrust out of rulership. So now that we're thrust out of rulership, what are we? We're being ruled over. Now we're a beggar. Now we got to ask the so-called white man for his jobs, man. Now we got to ask the so-called white man for his insurance. We got to ask the so-called white man, and let's get that. And the curses tell you this was going to happen to us, man. Right? It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. And it says what? Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee in hunger. So you're a beggar for food. In thirst, you're a beggar for water. In nakedness, you're a beggar for clothes. And in want of all things. You want a driver's license, you got to go to the so-called white man. You want a job, you got to go to the so-called white man. You want to go to college, you got to go to the so-called white man. Right? You want a house loan, you got to go to the so-called white man. Hey, if somebody died, you got to go to the so-called white man to get a damn death certificate for him, man. And one of all things, you a beggar, man. It says what? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until they have destroyed thee, man. Right? So this is plain. Let's go back to Lamentations chapter 2, right? The Most High has swallowed up all the inhabitants of Jacob, and have not pity. He hath thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He hath brought them down to the ground. He hath polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. Right? So the Lord has cut us off, man. He has made us a beggar. I'm gonna read on this a little bit more. He have cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. All the strength of Israel has been cut off. Now we used to be valiant. And I mean, yeah, now we used to be valiant and we're no longer valiant. Now we got that spirit of that same Jake Jonathan was talking about at camp. The white man ain't did nothing to me. Nah, I don't hate the white man. We're not valiant anymore, man. We're a beggar. We're grateful to the so-called white man for everything he gives us. We never think to ourselves, we say the white man has helped me more than any so-called black man. We never ask ourselves, why is he able to do that? So-called black man gets something, he try to hold on to it. It's off. You should still give it to your brother. But when you ain't had nothing for so damn long, it's hard to let it go. The white man is in the place where he can give you your table scrap. They give you the table scraps, man. That's what a beggar gets. A beggar gets table scraps, man. We've gotten the table scraps of the so-called white man. We are a beggar, right? It says what? Verse 3. He have cut off in his fierce anger all the horn of Israel. He have drawn back his right hand from above the enemy. And he burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devour round about. And I wanted to get that point because that goes into exactly what's going to happen to Lazarus. It says what? I'm going to read it again. He burned against Jacob like a flaming fire, which devoured around about. So now, as a beggar, it's being mentioned that you are burned like a fire. Think about that. Because fire is a form of affliction. It hurts, it burns. It doesn't feel good, right? Real quick, last one, right? This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, and verse 1. How is the gold become dim, right? Israelites was gold. How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out to the top of the streets. The precious stones, the precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter? So once esteemed as fine gold is now earthen pitcher. The thing that a potter tries to get off of his clay when he's making a pottery, man. Right? So we are that beggar, right? But you got it, King.
How I sound? Hey, still choppy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're a little bit better.
All right, Con. Just let me know if you know what I'm saying, bros. Can't hear what I'm saying. But I'm gonna go back. Let me read this real quick again. It says, man, it's a lot, man, to get into. It says, what was it, verse 20? And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores, man. And when you really think about that, who has gates? What gate? Go into the so-called white man neighborhood, man, at that gate, right? They deal with this all the time. All you gotta do is go on social media, man. Who's at the gate, man? You got security guards, right? The police at the damn gate asking Jake, "What are you doing here?" Jake, "Well, I live here." You know what I'm saying? It's a bit. I wish I could pull that video up, man. Of the encounter of the police of a Jake that lives. The brother said he went to high school and everything. He said he been there his whole life. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got Kens and Karen at the gate, man. Right? Asking what you doing fishing over here. You understand? Jake is at the gate, man. And then you got the Jakes, man. Hey, they kind of ride by, man, wishing they can move in over there. They trying to get their credit score right. They coming over there looking around. You know what I'm saying? Saying how much it costs, what they got to do to get over there. Jake, you don't have gated communities, right? Jake, you go to the hood, the gate don't work. It's just open. They don't fix it. You understand? It's an apartment complex. You know what I'm saying? Out here, man. They got a gate up there. You got Jake out there selling weed, right? Standing right at the gate, man. Right? The gate wide open. Nobody came and fixed the gate, man. But real quick, let's deal with this dude. Let's go to because it said dealing with the swords too. the brother went into. I'm gonna get the account the brother alluded to. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 10 and verse 30. And Yahushua answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among the thieves. Who are the thieves? Esau is that thief, like the brother was going to earlier, man. He's the one that came and took and stole everything. And fell among thieves. And what did these thieves do to him? Do you think these men helped him?
Hey, Salaki King, they saying you still choppy. Try to go out and come back in.
All right, Kaka.
Right, brother, internet kind of lucky. Let me try to get my little phone. All right, so I'm gonna grab something while the brother pops out and pops back in. Right, the brother was going into uh the parable, man. Right, about him falling among the thieves. Right, let's go to it. Lead us 13th chapter. Right, this is lucky. Let me check. It's the book of Saint Luke chapter 10, right, and verse 25. And behold, a certain Lord stood up and tempted him, saying, "No, so like it. That's not what I want. I want to read down verse." And Yahushua answered, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and fell among the thieves, which stripped him of his raiment, and wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. Right. So literally, who is the thieves? Right. Chiefly the other nations, but mainly, right, the so-called white man. Right. So we were stripped of our raiment. What is your raiment? Right? Your raiment is your righteousness. Right? Your understanding. Salaki. Your understanding, your righteousness. Right? That's your raiment. Right? We get a precept on that. Salaki, Salaki. We get a precept on that. Right? It's the book, right? The Job. The book of Job, chapter 29 and verse 14. I put on righteousness and it clothed me. My judgment was a robe and a diadem. Right? So your raiment is your righteousness. You understand it, right? Just like being naked is being in sin or being ashamed. It's the same way when you deal with having on raiment and clothing, right? Let me get this in the book of Sirach. I think the brother, you come back in yet? Not yet, right? So let me get this in the book of Sirach, right? It's the book of Sirach. It's been a minute since I pulled this precept. Let's see if I can remember it. Right? This is the book of Sirach, 27 and verse 8. If thou followest righteousness, thou shalt obtain her and put her on as a glorious long robe. So righteousness is your clothing. So when we fell among those thieves and they stripped us of our righteousness, right? How did they do so? Right? By taking away our understanding. There goes the brother. Salak. There you go, King.
How do I sound now? I can't hear you.
You sound better, all right?
Sound better than our personal time. Did you go into it?
I was just going into being stripped of our raiment, what that was going into.
That's all good. The point, all right. So just dealing with those wounds. A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. Right? Isn't that what the so-called white man did to us? Think about slavery, right? We had our backs whooped. We literally physically got wounded by who? Esau, right? Getting hanged on trees, man. That does something to you. And he can't totally destroy us because of the mercy and grace that the Lord has bestowed upon us by Shemi Hawashai. So he left us half dead, man. Right? Let's go to the book of John, chapter 11 real quick, showing you that Lazarus, right? Lazarus represents the Israelite. It's not about that one man being Lazarus. Damn, y'all, I sound worse.
You definitely choppy, but I can understand you though. You got it's gonna be annoying, but brothers and sisters, they trying to get this word, they're gonna have to kind of deal with it.
It's the book of John, chapter 11, and verse 11. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Real quick, let me get this real quick. I hope it's I know it's choppy, but I hope it's clear enough, but I'm understood what I'm saying. I'm really unprofitable. Can somebody go on the YouTube, look on the YouTube and see what they're saying on there? As far as can they understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see the comments. Um they say they can understand.
Okay, Con, I'll praise it. So I get for the bad audio. I don't know what to do about it. I got that cheap internet. I'm Lazarus, man. I'm the poor man. Right? This is the book of Job, chapter 11, and verse 6. And that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Right? So you can read something in the scripture and it have a double meaning, or it can have a deeper meaning behind what you're actually reading. Right? And that's the case in John 11. Let's go back to John 11, pertaining to the parable that we read. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit Yahweh shall speak of his death. But they thought that he had spoken of taking on a rest of sleep. Why did Yahweh shall use the term sleep? Remember, Yahweh shall spoke in parables. You understand? He could have said that so that they understand. No, this is recorded in precept so we can break it down. Because then the Lord, let's get this in real quick. Let's go to Isaiah. That's why you got to go through the precept to understand the scripture. I'm looking for. No, I think I want Isaiah 30. No, slightly. Been a minute. I think it's 29. And 10. All right, this is the book of 29 dealing with Israel. Isaiah 29 and 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep. He hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered. Right? And the vision is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. Why? Because the Lord put a spirit on our people. Israel is Lazarus, and Israel has fell into a sleep. It wasn't that Lazarus is dead that the Lord can't bring him back, right? Israel is asleep. Israel is discontinued from the heritage. Israel is under the curses, right? Let's go back to John 11. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep, right? Let's go to the book of, this is spiritual, remember. Let's go to the book of Romans. The classic, you hear this a lot on the highways and the byways. That's what the Lord sent us to go do, right? To go wake our people up out of sleep. It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, and verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believe, right? Let's go back to John 11. And I'm going to jump down to verse 13. Howbeit Yahweh shall speak of his death. They thought that he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep. Then Yahweh shall said unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead, right? Let's go to real quick. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37, right? About the dry bones. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37. And Yahushua, these healings that Yahushua was doing, what was he doing? He spake. He just spake a word a lot of the time, right, to heal them. Hey, go down and be clean. And they was healed. You understand? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37 real quick. In verse, I saw that one. The hand of the Lord was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, thou knowest. Can these bones, we see all our people in the street, they dead. They're not literally dead, but they spiritually are dead. They spiritually asleep, right? Jump down to verse 5. Thus said the Lord God unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live, right? That breath of life, the laws, commandments, knowledge, wisdom, the word of God is what's going to bring them back to life. The spirit of the Lord is a quickening spirit, which is going to make you alive, take you from being spiritually dead to spiritually alive. That's the secret behind Lazarus being the Israelite. This is us today, right? Now let's jump down to verse 10. And it reads, so I prophesied as he commanded me. So you have men that have to go out and prophesy, just like all of us. All of us came back and we woke up and we became alive and quickened by this word, by this truth, the knowledge of who we are, who our God is, the law, statutes, and commandments, our history, right? The true gospel of Yahushua. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. All right, let's go back to chapter 11. Let's jump down to verse 17. Then when Yahushua came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already, right? And they say like after three days, your body starts to decompose, man. So this truth came unto us right at the right time. You might have been in your 40s when you came into the truth. You might have been in your 60s when you came into the truth. Different times you hear this word and you come into the truth. But we wasn't fully all the way dead yet. That's why when we read earlier, they beat him half dead. So our people was half dead in the deep sleep. This is that beggar. This is that poor man Lazarus. You understand? Let me jump up to verse 25. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, right? Though he were dead, though he was asleep, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believeth thou this, right? So this is the mystery. This is the secret behind Lazarus, all right, being Israel. Lazarus, that whole story about Lazarus being dead and the Lord coming waking him up, that's spiritual. That's you, okay? Being in the hands of your enemy, being wounded, all right? Being persecuted, being oppressed, right? Let's go to the book of Hosea, chapter 6. Real quick, let's go to Hosea, chapter 6. And let's start at I just want verse 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn and he will heal us, right? Yeah, Lazarus, this rich man that's oppressing, that stole everything, that wounded us, this thief, it's really the Lord doing it, right? He has smitten and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. And the third day he will raise us up and we shall live in his sight. Right? Let's get a precept on Esau. Okay, the Lord using Esau to bring these things to pass. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 17, verse number 13. So book of Psalms, chapter 17, and verse number 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Right? So the wicked is Esau. The Lord is using Esau to punish and oppress us. He's that sword that's wounding us. That's why in Hosea the 6th chapter, the Lord is telling you, I'm the one that's doing it because of your iniquity, right? But after a certain amount of time, I'm going to heal you. I'm going to revive you and bring you up out of the grave. I'm going to wake you up. You understand? That's the process that we're dealing with. Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 1. Lamentations, book of Lamentations, chapter 1 and verse, we'll read verse 3. And it reads, Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among heathen. So we're only amongst these people to be afflicted, to be servants, okay? To serve out these punishments and these curses that the Lord bestowed upon us. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. The ways of Zion do mourn, because none come to the solemn feast. All her gates are desolate. Her priests sigh. Her virgins are afflicted, and she is in bitterness. Right? So the Lord is really showing you, man, this man Lazarus is clearly talking about Israel. Let me get one more for our passage. Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 8. Also, when I cry and shout, he shutteth out my prayer. He enclosed my ways with hewn stones. He had made my path crooked. He was unto me as a bear lying in wait, as a lion in secret places. He had turned aside my ways and pulled me in pieces. He had made me desolate. He had bent his bow and set me as a mark for the arrow. Right? And somebody playing target practice, man, their mission is to hit that arrow on that target. That's Esau. Esau is the sword and he's the arrow, and you're the target. That's why you're being afflicted. You're being oppressed. Right? That's Lazarus. The Lord has made you the target for that arrow. Reading on. He had caused the arrows of his quiver to enter into my reins. I was in derision to all my people, and their song all the day. He had filled me with bitterness. He had made me drunken with wormwood. He had also broken my teeth with gravel stones. He had covered me with ashes, and thou hast removed my soul far off from peace. And we don't get no rest. We don't get no peace in this place. That's why you're dealing with depression and stress. You understand? All the days of your life. I forgot prosperity, and that's our people. Our people are poor. And when you go on the highways and the byways, hey, look at, especially downtown, look at the poor people, man. And they literally have forgotten prosperity. They're used to being poor. They damn near comfortable. They sitting on the side of the road, man. They wear the same clothes every day. They tired, man. They don't got no strength. They don't got no rest. Right? They got bags under their eyes, man. They digging in the trash can for food. Right? You see Lazarus every day drive downtown, man. And I said, my strength and my hope is perished from the Lord. They don't got no hope in the Lord. Hey, sometimes we try to talk to them, man. It's like talking to the wall. They gone, man. Right? Verse 19. Remembering my affliction and my misery, the wormwood and the gall. My soul had them still in remembrance and is humbled in me. This I recall to my mind. Therefore have I hope. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassion fail not. All right, I'm going to pass it on there.
Go back to Luke 16, right? And read 19 and 20 and 21. It says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day, which we understand as the so-called white man, right? And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, which we understand as Israelites, us, man, right? And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Right? And we just going into that. Right? How we desire to be fed at the so-called white man's table. Right? All we want, hey, we continuously, try to do the things of the so-called white man. Try to damn, live as a so-called white man, right? We try to do whatever he does. Right? We try to get all his crumbs that fall from the table. Right? This literally, let me get this real quick. What did our people do in the time of the Maccabees? Right? It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Right? So they go make a covenant with the heathen, right? Desiring to have the crumbs of the heathen, huh? Right? Let's do this. Let's go to Second Maccabees, First Maccabees chapter 2, right, and verse 23. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was molten according to the king's commandment. Right? And he kind of want to be a friend of the king. He wants literally to get those crumbs. So he's going to sacrifice something abominable that the king asked Mattathias to do that he wouldn't do. But he was willing to do so. Why? Because he was searching for those crumbs. He wanted to get those crumbs from the king. Our people continuously are searching for the crumbs of the so-called white man. That thing still happens to this day, man. Right? You still see Jacob damn running behind the white man's tail, man. Whatever the white man wants to do, he just wants to get a little piece of it. I just want a piece of the action. That's literally what they say. They say, I want a piece of the action. I just want a little piece, man. No, brother, we're supposed to have the whole thing in righteousness, man. Right? But nonetheless, let's go back, right? Luke 16, right, and verse 21. And desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Right? And who are the dogs? Right? Who are the dogs? Let's get this. In the book of the Exodus. Right? A dog licking your sore is not a good thing. They can get infected. You know, you can get all kind of sicknesses. That's not a good thing, man. That's not a, even though the so-called white man tell you, no, a dog licking your sores is not a good thing, right? Continue to infect the sore. It's not going to heal it. It's not ointment. It's not healing it, right? Let's get the book of Exodus chapter 11, right? It's the book of Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that he may know that the Most High have put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. The dogs is the other nations, man. Right? Let's get the classic of Matthew 15. Right? The dogs are the other nations. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 15, and verse 25. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered her and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs, to the other nations. So the other nations come and lick our sores and make things worse. Huh? Right? Now we're picking up the ways of the other nations. Right? Now we're trying to cover ourselves with a garment that's not the covering of the Most High. Let's get that in Isaiah chapter 30. Right? Now you're picking up Islam. Right? That's the damn Arab man licking your sores. Now you're picking up damn Buddha, crystals, all kind of other things from these other nations, man. Right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Most High, that take counsel, but not of me, and cover with a cover, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Right? So we're taking the covering, right? But it's not the covering of the Most High. So it's making things worse. It's not making things better. You're worshiping another God, right? But it seems to, hey, it kind of like, I guess, a dog licking your sore. It may kind of, I mean, for me, it wouldn't feel good, but it may kind of feel a little better, but it's only making it worse. It's only infecting the sore worse. So you're only waxing worse and worse and worse and worse, man. Right? So it says, let's get another precept. Well, let's go back real fast. It's a lot. Back to Luke. Right? So the book of St. Luke, chapter 16, right? And verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Right? So the other nations came and licked our sores, which made us wax worse, made our sores worse and worse. Right? I'm gonna start moving along because I know brother got to get to count. Right? And it says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. Right? So the beggar died. Right? And was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. Right? Well, what happened? Right? When we died, right, now we went unto our forefather Abraham. Right? Let's get that. Let's go to Matthew, right? Chapter 24. Abraham was called a friend of the Most High, right? So if you're in Abraham's bosom, you're with Abraham, you're with your father in a place of safetyness, right? Bosom represents safety. When a mother takes her child and holds the child to their bosom, it's giving that child comfort. So now we're finding comfort with our forefather Abraham, who was a friend of the Most High, who's in the kingdom, right? So let's go to Matthew 24. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and where I want it at. Nope, not what I want. Salakia. Bear with me, I'm gonna find it. Slot. Damn, where is that precept? Ah, can't believe it. Hold on, bear with me. Hold on. Let me look at it. Hey, you can bring out a precept real quick. I gotta find this.
I can barely hear you. You want me to hit in there?
Yeah, come on, go ahead.
Con. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 13, and verse 23. Right? Then with the bosom. So yeah, the bosom, Abraham's bosom is a place of comfort and a place of rest. Right? That's all it's talking about. It's not literally talking about Abraham's bosom. Right? Let's go to John chapter 13 and verse 23, dealing with the bosom. And it reads, then the disciples looked one on another, doubting in whom he spake. So like 23. John 13 and 23. Now therefore was leaning on Yahweh's bosom one of his disciples whom Yahweh loved. This is talking about John, right? What better place to be than to lay in the Lord's bosom? What safer place to be than to be in the Lord's bosom, man? Right? Just like a mother and when you're holding your baby, man, that's a safe place, right? Or anybody, man. You may need a hug, man. You understand? That's a safe place to be. That's a place of comfort when you're feeling down, man. Right? Affection. You see what I'm saying? That's all it's talking about. Real, you ready to get back in that thing? Or you want me to keep going?
Come on, I just want this one precept going into why it states Abraham, right? This is Matthew chapter 8 and verse 10. When Yahweh heard it, he marveled and said unto them that follow, verily, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. And I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west and shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. So being in Abraham's bosom is being at rest in the kingdom of heaven, being comforted in the kingdom of heaven. So when we die, right, which is not talking about, just it's a parable, right? When we died, when we change, right, we find that rest in Abraham's bosom, that comfort in Abraham's bosom, right? What the Lord say in Ecclesiastes? Why do we need that comfort? Let's get this in Ecclesiastes. Why do we need to be in Abraham's bosom, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 1. And it reads, so I returned and considered all the oppression that were done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such were oppressed, and they had no comforter on the side of their oppressor. There was power, but they had no comforter. Right? So we've been oppressed with no comforter. So the Lord is going to comfort us in that time. What did Yahweh tell us, man? Right? What did he promised us this, man? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 11, and verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So when we come unto Yahweh, we're promised to be given rest, man. Comfort. The Lord is going to comfort us. And Abraham just represents us being in the kingdom of heaven and receiving that comfort from our forefather, man. Hey, who don't want to be comforted by their grandfather, man? Or by their grandmother, man? Hey, brothers love their grand. I mean, people, we love our grandparents, man. And there's some people that love their grandparents more than they love their own parents, man. So how much more so will we want to receive the comfort of our forefathers, man? Right? So the Lord promised us for us to have that rest, man. Let's get this in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4. All it's representing is comfort and rest, man, in the kingdom of heaven, man. Nothing else, right? And the so-called white man going into captivity. That's all. This is all the parable is about, man. Right? This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, right, and verse number 3. For we which have believed do enter into rest, as he said. As I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, as the Most High did rest the seventh day from all his work. And in this place again, if they shall enter into my rest, seeing therefore it remaineth that some must enter therein, and they to whom it was first preached entered not because of unbelief. And again, he limited a certain day, saying in David, today, after so long a time, as it is said, today, if you will hear his voice and harden not your hearts. For if Yahushua had given them rest, when would he not afterward have spoken of another day? There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High. For he that entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works, as the Most High did from his. So it's rest. We're going to enter into the rest that the Most High has already set forth for us. And we're going to be comforted for all that we went through, all the morning. Does it not say, let's get this, Revelation chapter 20, right? Revelation chapter 20 and verse 22, I mean 12, Salakia. It says, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open. And another book was open, which was the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things that were written in the books according to their work. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it. And death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to his works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, man. Right? Death and hell. Because death will be conquered by the righteous in that day. And how do you prove that? How do you know that that's true? Right? Let's go to First Corinthians chapter 15. Right? This is First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse
So like,
man,
I can,
go ahead.
brother, where you at? I can barely hear what you say. You move fast.
First Corinthians
Please
15, First Corinthians 15 and I was about to go to man, it's the whole thing mean, man. But I'm gonna just go ahead and jump down to verse 51. You heard me?
you passed verse 22.
And where oh, you talking about Luke?
Yeah.
Nah, I think I'm on 22.
Okay, God.
Yeah, I'm on 22.
I can barely hear. Okay,
My shit is all right. Come, let me make sure real quick. So yeah, I'm still at 22. I'm still in 22. I'm about to finish off 22. My part is 22 right now, right? So it says what? Verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and the mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall put on incorruption, as this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall we be brought to the pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory, right? So we won't have to worry about death. We won't have to worry about crying. We won't have to worry about falling sick. We won't have to worry about these various many things. So we'll be comforted and we'll be at rest. But you got it, King.
what you say? God. I don't know. I hope I'm going to pull the same precept. But real quick, let me get this in Second Ezra chapter 1 and verse 30. Right? And I gathered you together as a hen gathered her chickens under her wing. Right? For a chicken, a safe place for a little baby chick is under her mother's wings. And a lot of times, man, you didn't even know that chicken got babies under them, man. They kind of hidden, right? That's that safe place. Real quick, let me get this real quick. In Psalms, by the way, the classic. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 91 and verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. Right? The secret place in the Almighty and being under the shadow of the Lord is that same place, Abraham's bosom. Right? Really, ultimately, the kingdom of heaven. You understand? That's where we're going to get that rest at when we get delivered out of this captivity at the end of the day. Real quick, let me get this in Ezekiel chapter 34. Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse number 12. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Right? That's you being in Abraham's bosom. The Lord scattering you into all these places and coming and delivering you out of that place, right? All right, giving you that rest, right? Let's get this in Matthew chapter 9. Matthew chapter 9 and verse 30. Matthew 9 and verse 36, right? Matthew chapter 9 and verse 36. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad. And that's why you're going to be saved by grace and mercy. The Lord is going to actually have compassion on those that He chose. Not everybody, right? And you can read about that in Ezra, right? Not everybody's going to receive that mercy and that grace and that compassion, right? And not myself, I might not even receive that, right? Lord willing, but we already know the Lord is only going to choose that 1/3. Lazarus represents that 1/3 of the Israelites that's going to be found righteous in that and receive that mercy, right? So the compassion, we're going to need that compassion from the Most High. And we're scattered abroad as sheep, having no shepherd, right? Then said He unto His disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that He will send forth laborers into His harvest. A part of this is having laborers and men that go out and put their life on the line to go and get these sheep, right? That's why the Lord told that to Peter. He said, Peter, lovest thou me, right? Feed my sheep, right? And these sheep, they have to be brought back to the Lord. You understand? They have to learn this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They have to get fed, right? They have to get these wounds healed. You understand? Receive that understanding. That's all going to lead to you ending up in Abraham's bosom, right? That's what Lazarus ended up. Did you go into the next part of that, King? I don't know how far you went into that.
No, I ain't going to the next part. You got it.
Dealing with hell?
Yeah, I ain't went into that yet.
You deal with hell? All right, guys, you can pick up and go to the next verse.
Come, this is Luke chapter 16 and verse 23. And in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and seeing Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his bosom. Right? So what's happening? Right? The rich man, the so-called white man, is now beginning to feel torment. He is now being put in captivity. Right? So let's get that. How do we know that? Because that's what hell is, a lower state for the predicate man. And in this part, it's talking about him being in a lower state and being afflicted continuously
And how is he being afflicted? Hey, he's getting beat with a rod. Hey, he's building up. He's hard laboring with bricks and bondage. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 5. Right? In verse number 13. It's the book of Isaiah 5. Right? In verse number 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity. This is talking about us. But I want to get the concept of this hell, right, that the rich man is seeing. Right? Therefore, my people are gone into captivity. They have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore, hell hath enlarged herself and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory and their multitude and their pomp, and he that rejoices shall descend into. Right? So this hell is dealing with captivity. This hell is dealing with us being with being afflicted, man, being brought low, not having knowledge of self. Right? Isn't that prophesied to happen to the so-called white man? Right? Let's get this in Jeremiah. Right? Chapter 30. Right? It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, in verse 16. It says, therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Right? So all of the so-called white man and the other nations, right, are going to be given for a prey. They're going to be spoiled. They're going to go into captivity. This is the hell for them, right? Let's get this in the book of Psalms, right? And they're being afflicted in hell, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2, and verse number, I'm looking at section 2 and verse number, what I want. Hey, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance to the uttermost part of the earth of my possession. And thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's clay. Right? So they're going to be afflicted. It's not going to be an easy captivity for these nations. Man. They're going to be afflicted. Right? They have to deal with this affliction. Right? It's not going to be a light affliction for them. Right? So there's torments. The torments is their affliction that they're dealing with while they're in captivity. Right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received them, my Father. Right? And they're gonna see these things, and they have to deal with it when they see it. Right? So when it says he looked up and he sees us, right, with Abraham, right, in Abraham's bosom, he's looking up while he's being afflicted, in affliction and captivity, and he's seeing us being in comfort, being at rest, being at ease, man. That's what he's seeing while he's being afflicted and put in captivity. Right? Let me get this in Wisdom of Solomon. Right? It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. And it reads, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face, as such have afflicted him, and made no account of his labor. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far as beyond all that they look for. Right? So literally that's what you see going on. He's seeing our salvation, right? And he's in terrible fear, he's in groaning, he's in pain, he's in anguish due to this, man. Right? And there's many more precepts, but for the sake of time, right, I'm a yield right there. You got it, King.
Yeah, so I'm gonna read it again. It says, and in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and see Abraham afar off and Lazarus in his room. If you go to church, man, they gonna tell you that this man was literally in the fire, being tormented and burning, right? And he's asking, the way they explain it, this man is literally in fire asking for a damn cup of water, man. He put his finger in. He's in all that fire, but he want to dip his finger in water. What is your finger in water going to do if your whole body being consumed by fire? This don't make no sense as madness, man. No, he's just talking about he's asking for mercy. Just like us, we're in hell right now. Right? Let's deal with that real quick. Let me go to the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse. And stop me, King, if I read a scripture that you already read. No. It's the book of Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 13.
I read that
Yeah?
one.
You read that?
Yeah.
All right, God. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 24 and verse so like 23 and verse so like 23 and 14, I think that's what I'm looking for. It's the book of Proverbs chapter 23 and verse 14. Thou shalt beat him with a rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell. How do you get delivered out of hell? Where does it say you're going to go to hell? And I'm only saying this because of the understanding of hell that our people have. Our people think we go to hell for eternity, right? Ain't no getting out of hell. There's no damn probation or no parole. Hell parole. You get to come out. If you go to hell and you don't scream too loud, the Lord will come and get you up out of there. Right? That makes no sense. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 139 and verse 8. And it reads, if I ascend up into the heaven, thou art there. So the Lord is in the heavens, right? If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. So the Most High is in hell. The Most High, the Lord is in hell. Right? No, it's saying the Lord is always with us because hell is being brought down to a low state. Hell is the grave. All right? Hell is captivity. Hell is affliction. Right? Let's get the classic real quick. Let me get one more on that. Right? We don't believe hell is a place underground, right? That you spend eternity burning forever. It's the book of Jonah, chapter, I think it's chapter 2, right? Jonah chapter 2 and verse 2. And said, I cried by reason of my affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. So Jonah being in the belly of the well, being in a dark place, was represent hell for him. That has nothing to do with him being on fire, being in the lake of fire, right? And I'm pretty sure the brother read in Revelation when the Lord said, death and hell, right, is going to be thrown into the lake of fire, meaning your captivity, death. All right, you're going to come into immortality, right? Let's get the Proverbs chapter 16 real quick. Chapter 16 and verse 10. And it reads, so like it's my Proverbs. Psalms, so like Psalm chapter 16 verse 10. And it reads, but thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither wilt thou suffer thine Holy One to see corruption. So clearly the concept of hell, when you read it in the Bible, it's not talking about this man being in a fiery place, right? Because why would Abraham, all right, Lazarus, be able to see this person and be able to talk to them in hell, right? And if he's in Abraham's bosom, right, how is he talking to this man that's in hell? Just like you're in hell right now in the so-called white man, he's in his kingdom, right? And he can come kick down your damn door and take your kids out your house, right? Put a damn note on your door and say you got to move out. You got to move out because we're about to turn this into a football stadium. Everybody got to move out. They start pricking down your damn neighborhood. You understand? And they give you 30 days, so you got to go find somewhere else to stay. That same way, being in captivity, right? Under subjection to the so-called white man. Let's get real quick. Let's get the book of but we ain't got to get no more on that. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Let's read that again. It says, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy upon me and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. Right? And again, that flame represents affliction. Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. Did you get that, bro? This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies. Right? So this rich man is now suffering the affliction and the curses. He's being brought down low now. That's what he wants mercy from. You understand? Will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate me, which persecuted thee. Right? Let's go to the book of Joel. Let's go to the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 8. The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 8. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah. All right, that's captivity. That's your children and your daughters being taken from you and being sent to the children of Judah, man. You all the way over here in Levi, all right? Your children being taken out of your bosom and taken from you. That's that torment that he's going through, that he's asking for mercy and deliverance from. Right? Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 4 and verse 13, because guess what? When we was in captivity, the so-called white man was whipping our belts, whipping our backs, man. And we was asking for mercy, man. You don't think our daughters was begging him not to rape me tonight? I'm hurt. I'm sore. My back hurt. I'm sick. You know what I mean? They was begging for mercy. So they're doing the same thing. It's the book of Micah, chapter 4, verse 13. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooks brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces any people. And I will consecrate their pain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. So he's dealing with Israelites ruling them with a rod of iron, man, and them being beat to pieces. Not saying that we're just gonna be wicked up and just beating the hell out of anybody. It's gonna be done right. You understand? We're not just gonna have an unruly kingdom where we just walk around just killing and murdering and beating people for no reason. But these things are gonna happen, right? Because we have to put these unruly, wild beasts in order, right? That's what he's begging for mercy and affliction from, right? Their sons and daughters being down, dashed into the stones, man. All right, let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 12, real quick. It's the book of Mark, chapter 12, and verse 36. But David himself said by the Holy Spirit, the Lord said to my Lord, sit thou on my right hand till I make my enemies thy footstool. What is a footstool? A footstool, you damn put your feet and walk all over it, man. And you don't kick the damn footstool, man. Right? The so-called white man is becoming that footstool. That's the hell that he's in. Right? The Israelites being on top. And doing unto them, let's go to the book of Revelation. And the so-called white man's hell is going to be worse. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18, and verse, let me see what I'm going to start at. I'm going to start at verse 6. Reward her even as she have rewarded thee. That payback, that vengeance that the Lord is coming with, even as she have rewarded thee. And double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled to her double, how much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much that she lived deliciously when she was rich. Right? When Esau was the rich man, he was in his kingdom, he was living deliciously, showing no mercy. So much torment and sorrow give her. So that torment that he's talking about and that sorrow is that double portion that the Lord has preserved for him. Right? Let's get another precept. Did you get Revelation 2? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 26. But that which he hath, verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my word. Oh, you got that?
Yeah, good.
Okay, come. You get Revelation 18?
Live.
All right, come. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 33. Right? It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33. And let's start at verse 25. If thou set thy servant to labor, thou shalt find rest And Esau is a servant. The Lord told us back in Genesis, the elder shall serve thy brother. He was made to be a servant. We became servants through our disobedience to the Most High. Thou shalt find rest, but if thou let him go idle, he shall seek liberty. So the Lord is saying you got Esau gonna be working his ass off. We're gonna have to keep him busy. That's gonna be our rest, man. Esau working in the field and keeping him busy. A yoke and a collar do bow the neck. So are tortures and torments for an evil servant. So these tortures and torments is him being in captivity. Because if we were once in a physical hardcore bondage under the so-called white man, send him to labor that he be not idle, for idleness teaches much evil. Set him to work as it is fit for him. If he be not obedient, put on more heavy fetters. Okay? That's what's going on when you read that scripture between Lazarus and Esau, the so-called rich man. That's him asking his finger to be put in water. He's asking for mercy. He's asking for grace. But guess what? Esau didn't show no mercy and no grace, man. Let's go to the book of Amos real quick. That's why the Lord calls him a hypocrite, because now he wants mercy and grace. This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse 11. Thus says the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and kept his wrath forever. So this man that showed us no pity, and he hated us all the way until, like the Gabar read, is going to be until they literally see our salvation. All the way up until that point, now he's asking for mercy and grace. No, don't work like that. Let's go to the book of Obadiah, because what should he have done? The book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. And that's what this rich man is dealing with. He's dealing with that shame of now him being brought down low. Now him we're having to work for us. And thou shalt be cut off forever. And the day that thou stoodest on the other side, when you was in your kingdom, you understand? When you was the rich man, when you was on that side, and the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them, right? But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. So the Lord is saying, look, hey, you should have thought about that day, man. You should have thought about that when Jake was trying to get food stamps, man. Right? You should have thought about that when our people get shot down by the police in the streets, man. You understand? You didn't think about mercy and grace during that time. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 27. The book of Isaiah chapter 27 and verse 9, verse 11. It's like, when the bows thereof are withered, they shall be broken off. The women come and set them on fire, for it is a people of no understanding. Therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will show them no favor. All right, that's what's going on. Prophecy being fulfilled, and we're being shown this through a parable. You understand? Of Lazarus being Israel, the poor man in captivity, and the rich man. All right, but you got a king.
I mean, you pretty much cover all the bases, man. So with that, I know Brother Jack ready for camp. We headed to Dallas. I believe the address is 2642 Elm Street, Dallas, Texas. It's in front of the William Bucket in Deep Ellum. So if you're in the Dallas area, come out, get word. We should be there at 4:30. Lord willing. Where y'all brothers gonna be at, Jonathan?
We back in our regular spot, Lake Yola.
So the brothers in Lake Eola and then the brothers in Atlanta, they're gonna be in front of a big Ferris wheel in downtown Atlanta around 5 o'clock. Right? So, if you're in any of the areas, the Orlando area, the Dallas area, the Atlanta area, those are the 3 locations. Come out and fellowship and ask blessings. Until next Shabbat, love you, Israel. Shalom.